Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac. Not a fantastic run last time. Played pretty well. I give our performance on the run a 7 out of 10. The run itself was like a 0, but we made it work. C40X 19 PD. Wasn't a 0, that's not fair. It was low though, and this is a terrible start. But don't get despondent. We got positives and negatives as building nothing out of something. The long-lost Modest Mouse EP said. Damage is actually good. DPS is not, but, 15 rate of fire is better than 18 rate of fire, which is where we started our last run at, and we got more damage on top of that. We can actually see our HP, which is a big plus. Coupon compensates us for our lack of HP relative to maybe your average eat and run. The only downside to Coupon is it's a spacebar item, and how does it compensate us for our HP, by the way? You might be hitting me with a question mark. It makes a deal with the devil free when we use it on a deal with the devil. So, no guarantee we're actually going to realize that potential, but hopefully. And the downside of it being a spacebar item is if this is Shoop to Whoop, it will be hard for me to not take Shoop to Whoop. If anything, you just finish this room and you go, I just invested like half of my life into this freaking room. We might as well take the reward, but in all likelihood we'll get a single troll bomb anyway, so I wouldn't get too twisted up over it. Fighting a DVD screensaver here. Okay, well, it doesn't even drop Shoot to Whoop. It dropped Forever Alone, which is way better for us when you consider the fact that we don't have to swap Coupon out. So the big deal, as I see it, is, or the line, let's put it that way, in common video game parlance. Yo, SMB Superfan, again, very useful. We're almost at our tier DPS from the last run. We go here, and you Coupon. And you get a key out of it. Not bad. Are we gonna get to another charge? Probably not. I would say doubtful, but no, not likely. I mean, doubtful and not likely it's redundant, but I was just about to say, like, are we likely to have enough rooms to even have a chance? The answer is no. But that's okay. Free key. Basically, on this floor, we had Book of Sin. And, dude, I can't even stress to you how valuable it is for us to have the Spirit Heart. Now, I thought it would be valuable in getting a deal with the devil on the next floor. I'm realizing, in all likelihood, I was just going to say its value is more likely keeping us safe on this fight, which is a little bit of a low roll in terms of difficulty. But I will be taking this instead of the Coupon. As much as I like the Coupon, Headless Horseman is a much cleaner and more obvious approach. After the last run, I'm not really in the business of trying to come up with the esoteric ways to pull out the dub. If possible, I would much rather just, I don't want to say coast to victory. It gives people the wrong impression, but, sort of, if you get what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Sure, and it's a beautiful turn of events. We even have the chance at an arcade on the next floor. Thank you, Coupon, for the attempts you've given me, and I guess we could go back and we could buy a battery charge with Coupon in hand, and then hope that it gives us a 15-cent value, but then we'd lose our arcade chance, and, there's no right or wrong play, in my opinion, conceptually. It's only an execution. So we'll just take that immediately, and everything is coming up roses right now. It's basically like literally just a strictly better version of our last run at this point. Some of the same items. We even have a better orbital, weirdly enough. Anyway. Feeling good, dude. Weather's I mean, as much as I hate daylight savings, and I really, if I get the opportunity to vote down daylight savings, I'm going to take it. And the reason is because I don't like it. I don't even know if I have to justify it any more than that necessarily. I know it's only an hour a year, but it throws you off for a couple days, I think. Like, I feel right now, but it's Wednesday, you know? On Sunday and Monday, I was still a little bit jacked up. How did I miss that? Not a horrible quality of life, but, you know, it's a sacrifice that for my own life feels needless to make. But regardless, we already covered this point. Yo, what do you got for me here? Yikes. I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the D6 from the D Infinity into the Deal with the Devil at the very least. And then we'll tackle it from there. We also have the 5 room to think about. But I will say, I don't know if I'd call it a bonus of Daylight Savings, because I really feel like, you know, because Daylight Savings just ended, we're really just getting the time back that we had earlier. But, you know, and it's also due to the curvature and rotation of the Earth. But days are getting longer. Terrible damage to take there. Sun's staying out longer. And you might recall last year, I talked about it a few times. I don't think I have seasonal affective disorder. And I don't want to, you know, run the risk of co-opting a real illness just to, you know, feel included. But I was starting to feel a little run down in February of last year and even March to some extent as well. Definitely grab this. You know what? That's a reroll and a half, and it kind of sucks. You know, I think I will roll the D Infinity. Here's my reasoning. Our run is very good right now. Don't get me wrong. We're probably going to reroll into worse runs. However, we're also going to get a passive ability to fly at some point out of the D4. Which is really the only reason we were holding on to the Horseman run for. Anyway, this year, you know, I think I've done better. My mental health was never really, like, in shambles, but, you know, I was definitely in, like, a worse mood this time last year, for sure. And, you know, I think better diet, better habits, actually exercising has helped out a lot there. Whoa, okay, we got 99 bombs, which is a beautiful get. I don't say this to brag, you know, and I know that, you know, when you're outside of the bubble, as I've been for a long time, anytime someone's like, you know, hey, I lost 30 pounds, you're like, you know, you got competing things going on in your brain sometimes, right? Oh, we have Tarot Cloth as well. One of the things is like, I'm genuinely happy for my friend, and then the other one is like, hey, you won't shut up about it, huh? I get it. But when you're inside of the bubble, you know, it's something that's on your mind. We got the Fool, we got the Death card. Let's take the Fool in, see what we get. It does help us with Bloody Lust anyway. Yo, okay, we'll take both of these because we're going to reroll them anyway. And I do want the Heart from the Nail. But, you know, I'm just saying, it has helped the exercise. At least a slightly better diet. It's helped out a great deal for my own personal mood. But I'm also very, very eager to see the summertime arrive. It's beautiful in the city in the summer. There's more stuff to do. And just in general, I don't know. Something about having the sun out. I mean, there's not something about it. I'm sure it's like vitamin D. But having the sun out, feel just better in general, I think, most of the time. I will say, I was talking to Danny B, and he was saying, like, the opposite for him. I guess there's, I don't think it's a preference. I think it's like a hormonal thing. But he was saying, like, you know, being in the Pacific Northwest is awesome for him. We got soy milk on this run. Because he loves the rain, and when it's sunny, he kind of feels like he's in a worse mood. And I'm like, dude, I'm the exact opposite. I think most people are the exact opposite. But, dude, you're definitely in the right part of the world if you enjoy the rain. Or even more so than enjoy, but, you know, feel energized by the rain. I'm excited for it, is all I'm saying. Plus, for like the first time, well, the second time in my life, I have prescription sunglasses. And as nerdy as it sounds, I'm stoked to have prescription sunglasses. Most of you out here, if you're... I think I got my audience pegged, and... you know, don't take that the wrong way, or the right way, depending on your perspective. But I think that most of my audience, if you wear glasses, you're the kind of people that were like, why would I spend a couple hundred extra bucks on prescription sunglasses or clip-ons, transition lenses, etc., when I could just go outside and squint for free? And I'm here to tell you, I've espoused that wisdom for a long time. This time I was in the glasses store. You know what? Let's do. It'll be weird. I was in the glasses store and Kate was like, why don't you get prescription sunglasses? And I was like, I don't need them. And then she's like, yeah, but you squint when you're driving. Oftentimes we have to drive like to the east before noon or to the west after noon. And it's like you spend the whole time with like a little glowing sun in your brain and then just like not looking right. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Now I got them. I'm taking every opportunity to wear them. All I can say is the future's so bright I gotta wear shades, buddy. D100 this, please. Dude, torn photo out of this, pretty solid. We are 10 minutes into this run, and we're just leaving the second floor. This is still, there's a lot of things worth pointing out here. It's faster than our last run. We did one extra floor in the interim period, and our future prospects are so much better, dude. It's not even close. Anyway, all y'all in the sunglasses gang say yeah. It's nice to be able to see. The only other time I had prescription sunglasses, this is a true story. I was at the Hillside Music Festival in 2010? Maybe it might have been 2012. I can't remember. I think it was 2010 though. You can cross-reference this yourself. It was the year the Japan Droids were playing. It's got to be 2010 then, because Post Nothing had just come out in like the winter of 2009, I think. And anyway, or maybe even the winter of 2000. It doesn't matter. That much. And you know, I had brought my glasses and my prescription sunglasses that thankfully had been covered under my parents' optical plan at the time. Thank you, group insurance. At some point in the bedlam, and I'm not like a mosh pit sort of guy, but you know, there's a lot of hands flying in the crowd. My glasses got knocked off. It's pretty much like a death wish to get on your hands and knees one song into the set right at the front of the stage. So I was like, they're gone. And I just, you know, lived without my glasses for that night, got back to the hotel, put on my prescription sunglasses. They were like backup glasses. I wore those for the rest of the weekend. And it basically sucked. Because, like, in the daytime, it was not so bad. Because it's sunny. You know? And nobody looks at you weird for wearing sunglasses. But once it's, you know, nighttime, sunglasses don't aid your ability to see. They actually hinder your ability to see because they're dimming something that's already dim. You know, you get the general gist. It's not that exciting of a story. I think that's what we're noticing here on the fly together, you and I. It's my first time with them, apart from that. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm actually just gonna use that right away. My goal here, I don't want to rush the run as fast as possible. I don't want to do you the disservice. However, I'm looking at that line that is get an incredible reroll and then grind this run down. We've been having some terrible performances in Isaac. We've been having some unfortunate performances, you know, combinations of mediocre play and not the best seeds. Some of it's been my fault, some of it's been variance, you know, but this one is 100% within the realm of my control. I want to reroll, become incredibly strong, and then de-destroy. So my ideal setup here is actually, this run is really cool, it's just underpowered. So you get a deal with the devil thanks to Goathead here, and then you just hope for a deal with the devil that's incredible. Brimstone would be amazing, and I know you're like, you have Chaos, but we re-rolled Chaos maybe 2 or 3 runs ago, so I feel like it's not implausible. Thanks a lot, really appreciate that. For us to get something really good here, let's see. Not implausible. Lump of coal is still fine. I mean, I'm going to reroll everything again. Leviathan. Are we guppy now? Yo, okay. I might not stick with this run, but I do see Maw of the Void, Mom's Knife, Eye of Belial. Much better stats. Couple of guppy items. This is some solid stuff right here. We at least are going to stick with this until we... I mean, we don't have a choice to reroll it right now anyway. Stop. We're going to get to stick with it a little bit longer. I actually prefer the speed here. So there's no secret, you know, Isaac has been a little bit of a fickle beast for a little while here. I would, without being rude to Isaac, a game that I love very much, I would say we're in the doldrums. You know, there's no worse time for the perception of a game, and you know, if you play a lot of it, there's no worse time for it, I guess, than that weird valley when you're unaware. You know, there's an expansion coming. You don't know when it's gonna come out, though. Let me get to stick with this a little longer, thankfully. And you know, we're just kind of, we're trucking away. I'm not playing out of a derelict sense of duty, or I guess a rightfully placed sense of duty. Rather, it's more like I'm just trying to make sure that I can keep myself fresh for when the expansion actually comes out, and I'm excited to check it out. But simultaneously, you know, if anything, I'm glad that I hope we've maybe gotten through this slump. Or at least we appear to be getting through this slump before things actually, like, before the new content heats up, you know? And it looks like we got one more floor of this, at least. Or, well, we're going to start the next floor on this, at least. That's the thing with the D100. Every 2 rooms, you get another chance to maybe re-roll your life, you know? All right, let's get hit 6 or 7 times there. Would I stick with this run long-term? I would honestly rather not. Just because it's kind of boring. You know, it's very, very, very strong. But it's also just kind of, you know, Mom's Knife, at the end of the day, is just sort of like, yeah, I've seen it once, seen it 1,000 times before. So, I would love to add something a little bit more interesting. Like, you can hit me with that Drake meme. Mom's Knife, pass, Tech X, pretty much the same power level, but more exciting to watch for a number of different reasons. Or, you know, a guppy run. Even Brimstone with homing, or Brimstone with triple shot would be cool. The Mom transformation, and in 2 rooms we're going to have our D4. Speed down, damage way up. It doesn't matter. Like, at this point, you pretty much can't screw the run up. Now, there was probably a point a few years ago where, after saying that, I'd say, well, now that I said that, you know I'm gonna screw it up. But I think we've reached a level of confidence, and there's Guppy. Oh, with an interesting run attached. I love, no joke, Sharp Pencil is one of my favorite items in the game. You know, let's get real weird and probably substantially worse with this run. So we'll get the Brimstone lasers shooting out. Still seems pretty great. Alright, fair enough. I don't think I want to reroll this run anymore. I think we've got an exciting run. Despite being way behind schedule, we've recovered and we're looking good. I think we're ready to go here. Sharp Pencil is one of my favorite, especially new Isaac items. Because it's like, it's powerful, but it's not overpowered. And then it has like a little... It has consistent benefit, but you don't necessarily know exactly when it's going to show up, you know. You could get it on, you know, your very next shot, or you could get it 9 shots from now. And literally, you could pay attention to how many times you've shot, but at that point, you know, yes, you could do it, but there's a reason your boy's able to continue speaking to himself for 35 to 40 minutes at a time, over and over and over and over again. And one of those reasons is because I don't waste brain clock cycles on doing dumb stuff like counting to 10 over and over, just to prove that I'm smart enough to count to what the average 3-year-old can get to, you know? Of course there's a solution, but simultaneously, is the juice worth the squeeze? Nah. I'm a big believer. I mean, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves for basically what started as a joke. But, and mindless banter to fill a little bit of dead air. But I'm a big believer in opportunity cost. It comes up for me in Twitch chat all the time. Because, you know, people complain about things. I complain about things. Do I complain more than most people? Yes. You know why? I talk about probably 10 to 25 times more per day than the average person. For real. You should meet my mother-in-law. That's not nice, guys. Anyway. We're almost ready to go here. Let me... That's fine. We bought a Spirit Heart. Who cares? It's great news. So yeah, but, you know, there's a couple of different things to keep in mind when it comes to complaints. Are complaints coming from a position of asking for advice, or are complaints coming from a position of just venting and making conversation? It's something that annoys me sometimes on the stream, and I'm just being honest with you. And I know that what's ironic is that people are now going to respond to this and be like, well, if it annoys you, then stop doing it. And then you're going to hear what I'm about to say, and you're going to be like, okay, I understand that now I'm the butt of this joke. And that's fine, too. But is when you know, you're trying to make conversation, so you complain about something, no matter how minor in your life, and then you're inundated in chat with solutions to the problem. And you're like, I know what the solutions are. The thing is, I'm complaining about something being a problem. I know the solution. I'm unwilling to You're gonna make me do it, aren't you? I'm unwilling to implement the solution because the problem is so minor that doing the solution just seems like it is kind of a waste of my time. So we all got these little things in our life that, I don't know, I feel like maybe a lot of people have this idea in their head that adulthood is the quest for a perfect life, the quest to see problems and things that annoy you and then, you know, rectify them one by one until eventually you're just, you know, you've got no complaints. That's not what it's like at all. At all. It's mostly, you know, going to work, knocking out the rent, and, you know, keeping yourself healthy, taking some time for leisure whenever possible, and, you know, it's not a quest to get to that platonic ideal of what a lifestyle's like. So, for me, I'm like, dude, you know, the only reason I'm complaining about it is to give you a little bit more fodder in chat, you know, otherwise we could just be completely silent, or alternatively, we could just do what some other streamers do and narrate literally everything that happens on the screen, which is not really, like, I'm not trying to crap on people for that, but simultaneously, I mean, I've been there before in my life for sure, where I'm just, and then, oh my god, it's the haunt, it's the champion version too, dude, we smoked him. But that's not really what I envision, you know, for myself, basically. So sometimes when you gotta pull the veil back, you know, you gotta look at the man behind the curtain. When I complain about a Coca-Cola freestyle machine being slightly inefficient, it's not that I go around looking at stuff in the real world necessarily and, you know, bumping my wife on the shoulder and being like, look at how stupid that thing is. You know, it's when you're talking for 6 hours a week, you bring up all this stuff that's in your head, and then people are like, why do you have a comment on everything? It's fair enough, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not disheartened. I wouldn't even say it's a small minority of the audience. I don't think that's correct. It's more like, it's an incredibly small annoyance in the whole scheme of things. And, you know, when you're complaining about complaining, you're on a second-order complaint, and then you don't want to get on a second-order complaint, because then that's Twitter, and then if you go further than that, I don't even want to know where you end up. I'm just bringing up stuff that hits you in the streamer brain from time to time. Yo, yeah, take me into the deal with the Angel, and it looks like I'll have a good chance to fight Mega Satan on this run. And this run has accomplished exactly what I wanted, by the way. It's a quick, powerful run. I mean, we'll just roll Necronomicon. Absolutely. Apart from that, I got very few streamer complaints lately. Things are good. I think a lot of streamers, they go... They kind of, it's like a horror film, you know, like we were talking about in the last episode. They kind of start to have an adversarial relationship with your audience, and it's tempting to do so. And I'll tell you, you know, the reason I can relate to that is because every Tuesday we play Minecraft, and literally About 1/3 of the messages in chat every time we play Minecraft are just a growing to-do list of the optimum way to do things. Even to the point, like, we had a little leisurely dalliance, you know? Like, we had been working on fetch quests for a while, you know, each individually. And then Dan summoned us all to the town square and said, here's a fishing rod. Let's all go fishing and just talk for 20 or 30 minutes. It was a really nice thing to do. 1/3 of the messages in chat were like, why are they fishing with the vanilla fishing rod when they could go to the enchantment table, enchant the fishing rod, and catch different fish? You know, it's just... There's never... For some people, or for some people when they watch specific games, there's never a stop and smell the roses moment. It's always just, you could always be doing things slightly more optimally. If you enchant your fishing rod, instead of having a 35% chance to catch raw grouper, you'll have a 75% chance, and that's the most calorically boosting fish that you could possibly, blah, blah, blah. So I can understand how streamers, you know, find themselves in that position. I think we're in kind of a unique position. I look at it as like I'm the big brother, and I've used this exact joke many, many times, which is a very big brother thing to do. I'm the big brother, handsome, extremely jacked, just shredded, honestly. And then smart, accomplished, successful, great shape. And then chat's like the little brother, and they're like, hey, big bro, how can I be like you? And then I give you the exact, you know, rule book for how to get there. And then they go, I don't want to do that. And I go, all right, little brother. And then they're like, you're stupid. And I'm like, you know what? You're an ignoramus. That's a strictly better insult. And all of a sudden, you know, we've built a little level of mutual respect through teasing. And I think that's nice. I don't have real problems with my chat most of the time. The only time I get annoyed, and, you know, it's... I understand why we live in an increasingly controversial and political world. I'm definitely not one of those guys that is like, you know, well, in 1995, you could do anything and nobody would ever get mad. What changed? But sometimes, just by virtue of, like, innocent conversation, there start to be discussions about, like, political issues in chat, and then people, they take it way too far. And I'm like, you know, you're watching 6 dudes play virtual hockey here. But it's just, again, it's a sign of how the lines, I don't want to say the lines have become blurred, because it'll get that song stuck in everybody's head, but it's a sign of how, you know, the political, social issues, they're on the forefront of everybody's mind, and then, you know, there's an increasing overlap between kind of the gaming and streaming space and you know, political and social coverage, which is neat, honestly. And I think, you know, the only thing I'm going to say is if you find yourself being like, I miss the days when you could just play games, you watch my channel, you know? I know that there's extremely left-leaning gaming channels, there's extremely right-leaning gaming channels. There's both extremes for sure exist in this space. And, you know, I follow a pretty easy to replicate strategy. If they annoy me, I ignore them. And if they don't annoy me, I ignore them. Because that's just not what... I'm not interested in mixing the mashed potatoes with the corn, with the politics and the gaming. You know, I got other sources I go to for these two issues that I consider largely distinct. But if you're interested in getting, you know, crossing the streams without any negative connotations, I wish you the best. And if you're not, I'm always here for you. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Look at this. We're finally back. 5 wins. Starting to get there. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.